Hey guys, it's Gaz. Welcome to the Warframe video. So we have quite a doozy for you guys today. We have some late game disruption strats and how to deal with a very high level Demolyst in the disruption game mode. I'd just like to preface this with, I'm sorry that these are the solutions I have to provide to you guys. The way the DE has designed this enemy is extremely hard for just everyday players to tackle. It's going to require extremely powerful riven mods. It's going to require extremely difficult to obtain gear. It's going to require lots of prime guys, you're going to need some of the most powerful items in the entire game to deal with the situations I'm going to be bringing to you in this video. But before we get to that, let's quickly just show how a round of disruption would go normally and just how the game mode runs overall. So quickly, I have a video I recorded earlier. This is me in the new disruption game mode. I just killed an amalgam enemy. When an amalgam enemy dies, they will drop the key for you. The keys have different icons above them. So for example, this is the triangle key. I bring that triangle key over to the triangle objective, and that will make a Demolyst spawn. See the health bar on the left side? It says enemy speed boost. There's a health bar underneath that. That is the health bar of the Demolyst. We're trying to find the Demolyst. You'll know where the Demolyst is by hearing a sound effect, which is like a siren or whatever. That's going to be the main way you know where they are, guys. So if you're playing with blasting music like I normally do, you might need to turn the sound effects of the game up a little bit just so you can hear where they're coming from. So yeah, the way that this game mode works is you get that objective going with the key in there, and then once that Demolyst spawns, killing that Demolyst will immediately end that defense objective, and then you can move on to the next one and kill another Demolyst for the next defense objective, guys. But the problem we're running into here is that the Demolyst is like one of the most annoying enemies they possibly could have made. So let's quickly just show the health bar of this Demolyst satyr. So this is its base health bar, so it starts at. It scales off of this. So it's got 2,000 robotic health, 800 shield, and if we compare that Demolyst satyr to the normal version of the satyr, the shield on the Demolyst satyr is like over 4 times the size at base. Also the health is like 4 times as well. So yeah, it's really a nightmare of an enemy, guys, and we haven't even gotten into the mechanics of this thing. So let's quickly just go over some of the mechanics. I'm going to pause the AI for this just so we can get close to this thing without it attacking me. So here is the Demolyst. This is the entire big mechanic of the disruption game mode, and here are a few things we're going to start with, guys. So as you can see, he's red and glowing. It makes him very easy to tell which one is the Demolyst. Every 5-ish seconds, a nullifier bubble will emit from this enemy, and any abilities that are active near this nullifying field will be prevented. So I have both my chroma buffs active right now. Once his nullifying field goes out, my abilities are deactivated. I lose all of my buffs that I had, which are very essential to chroma. For example, if you are on Valkyr and you're using the attack speed buff from her second ability, if you get close to this guy when that nullifier bubble goes out, your attack speed buff is gone. If you're on Nidus and you get close to this guy when that bubble goes out, you lose stacks on Nidus. So it's very anti-ability centered, guys. Additionally, while it has its shield, so the blue health bar right there, it will not take damage over time effects from either Toxin or Slash. So in order to deal damage over time effects to its health, you need to actually break the shield first. And as you can see, it's a pretty chunky shield. We didn't really have a damage buff on Chroma there, but that was an entire magazine of my Rubico Prime just to lower that shield pretty much. And they do get higher level than 165. So this is just like a pretty controlled experience right here where we're getting all the shots off on this thing. And we're using a Riven, we're using some of the best mods in the game. So yeah, that's kind of the situation we're going at here. We need to be careful. When we're making our frame choices, guys, we need to make sure that we have not only a way of stopping this guy from running towards the objective to blow it up, but we also need to have a way to kill this guy. So that's where the frame choices and your riven mods and your elemental combos and your teamwork with your friends or public matchmaking people is going to come into play. Because teamwork is required to kill level 200 plus Demolysts, which is what we'll be going for in this video. So I'm going to give you guys some strategies on how to maybe not do that easily, but to do it, period. So let's quickly go over some stuff about disruption. So I already have that video up. So here are some of my recommendations on frames and weapons and all that kind of stuff for dealing with the high-level Demolyst. So the thing is, you're not going to see this high-level Demolyst until all the enemies in the mission are like level 200 as well. So you're going to need frames that can survive at level 200. So what we're going to be doing here is we have a Naros is a good suggestion because he's very tanky. He doesn't need abilities to be tanky either. We also have Mesa. Mesa actually can target the Demolyst with her regulators. It's one of the few frames in the game whose damage ability is very effective against the Demolyst. We can actually display that really quickly before we go over the rest of this sheet I have provided. So let's go to Mesa. So we have a radiation and toxin build on our regulators, also with crit. We additionally have the arcane velocity equipped as well, so we can fire faster. So Mesa is able to fight these guys with her pistols. As you can see, when the nullifier bubble goes out, you cannot shoot during the period of time that the bubble is out, guys. It's only out for about like a half a second, but during that time you are unable to fire. Also, if he's on top of you, he's going to be preventing your abilities, or deactivating your damage reduction and stuff too. So Mesa is a decent option, although she does not scale that great, unfortunately. Nothing really scales as great as we want it to here, guys. So yeah, moving on, we have Rhino. Rhino is also, he is a damage buffer for his whole team. His stomp ability does work on the Demolyst as well, so those are nice. Chroma can be really good. I have used Chroma for a longer run as well, but you need to be careful. Like I showed there, Chroma's abilities can be deactivated by the nullifier bubble. There's also tons of nullifiers in this mission type. Additionally, there are new melee nullifier enemies that rush you and will just try to prevent your abilities, because it's literally just a nullifier with a melee weapon, so he charges you. So you gotta be really careful about those. Chroma can be good for killing these Demolysts, though, because he has crazy weapon damage. Oberon can be nice, too. He can heal his teammates, give them more armor. He also has his first ability, which does work on a Demolyst, which is percentage-based health. So that is a consideration right there with Oberon. Octavia also is pretty nice. She can make the team permanently invisible. She can do lots of crowd control and damage with her first ability. And although the Demolyst does not shoot the first ability in the actual mission, if other enemies shoot the mallet and it ramps up the damage, that can damage the Demolyst. Also, she gives additional melee damage and weapon damage, so she can be really nice when we start going to the weapons we're using here, guys. So, and then Loki. Loki has a very special use here, which I haven't actually used myself in a long run, but the things you can do with Loki are actually kind of hilarious, and I actually think he is a small, like, niche meta pick there. And then as far as primary weapons go, basically, guys, whatever your most OP riven you have for a weapon is, or whatever your most OP weapon is, use that. Because this thing gets like 400,000 health like an hour in, okay? It has 400,000 health. That's a lot. So things I've been using, the Rubico Prime, the Fulman, the Miter. The only reason the Miter is suggested here is because you probably aren't going to be using your primary on that really high-level Demolyst anyway, so the Miter is just there for popping nullifier bubbles. So your teammates don't get their abilities canceled. You can just immediately pop bubbles with the augment mod. The Rubico Prime and the Fulman are here just because they do really high base damage and they have crit stats. That's pretty much it, guys. You can also bring like a status applying primary if you want to, if you're using Condition Overload, which I do recommend Condition Overload against this guy. But let's just get into the secondaries. So there's kit guns and basically any status applier. If you have a really hard-hitting kit gun, that can be good. Alternatively, I've been building some new kit guns lately where you actually build them for just quickly applying status. Let's just quickly show one of those right now. I have a special kit gun. We have it actually equipped. Perfect. So it's a Ketchmoon kit gun with the Ram Flare loader and the Gibber grip. So the way this thing is meant to be used is just for applying status very quickly. So I have viral on here because you're going to want viral against these enemies at high levels, guys. So this is how fast it fires. And then we have Pax Charge on here and a special Riven to give us 100% status and infinite ammo. So it's basically just for viral blocking. I'll proc viral on the guy. I'll use my Peacemakers. He should be dead in a good like 10-20 seconds of me unloading constant Peacemakers on him. Okay, so and then just finally the melee weapons. The melee weapons are going to be pretty important here. So the Oma is probably the best weapon in the game for doing this, guys. The Oma is a pair of Tonfas that actually has a suspiciously high amount of slide slide attack damage. It has 600 slide attack damage at base, and to put that in comparison's sake, that's basically more damage than every other melee weapon does in the game per hit. So Oma is a #1 choice. We'll get into that a little bit more in a couple minutes, though. The Grand Prime is also pretty good, although nowhere near as good as the Oma when used properly. With the Grand Prime, I'm going to recommend the Broken Bull stance on Cleaving Whirlwind because it has good damage modifiers. And then alternatively, you could use a Condition Overload Zaw, although I have not found as much success on that as the Oma. So let's quickly go over the Oma. I don't have a perfect build on the Oma. I've only been using it a little bit. But if you want to go super late, you're going to want something like this, guys. You're going to want a Condition Overload, Maiming Strike, Riven setup. I don't have a very good Riven. It's just damage to Corpus, which I'm testing out right now. But you probably want additional slide crit numbers on your Riven for the Oma. You want to combine that with Blood Rush. And then we have Corrosive on here. It's definitely not the best combination, but you just want to get as much raw damage as you can. See, notice this 6,410 spin attack damage, and our normal attacks are 1,000 damage, guys. So that's why you're getting crazy numbers with the Oma when you do a slide attack, because it has a really odd, really high spin attack damage number. Okay, so this is going to be what you're going to be mostly using against the really high level ones. Hopefully your teammates also have something along the lines of this as well, because one person can handle it for a while, but having multiple people with this will make it much easier. Okay, so this is not a perfect build, but like I said, it's one you can use. And then let's see. So yeah, now that we've gotten over some of the weapons, I'm not going to show builds for everything because like I said, rivens are important here, guys. You're going to want some rivens for this thing, just so you have the most damage possible. Now we're going to go over how to stop this thing from getting to the objective, which is a doozy. Let me tell you, I tested every ability in the game, and a lot of them don't really work. So, as I've stated before, the Demolyst, its main job is to just charge the objective and get to the objective. And once it gets to the objective, it will do like a small animation and then one-shot the objective. So what you need to do when this thing is super high level is you can't just insta-kill it. What you need to do is you actually need to stop it in its tracks, and you need to just like CC it and then have everyone shoot at it so you can like team fire it down. So here are the abilities that do work on the Demolyst. We have the Haro Condemn, his first ability, Corazon Snare, her second ability, Rhino Stomp, his fourth ability, Volt's Discharge, which is his fourth ability, and then Mag's Polarize, which is her third ability, but that does include the Counter Pulse Augment mod. So these abilities all do work, but we will mention in a second why it's not really as effective as you would hope. And then as far as operators are concerned, Magus Lockdown does work full duration. No damage is involved though because it's considered a mini-boss. And then the Xeneric Voltaic Blast node, which slows the enemy by a percentage once you Void Blast it for a few seconds. And then here we go. This is what I was getting to. All frame CC abilities have half their modded duration initially, further decreased upon subsequent casts. So that doesn't make a lot of sense most likely. I'm just going to show you on my Haro right now what we're talking about. So basically, you cast the ability. It has half the duration it's supposed to have in the first place. So as we see, my Haro has 9-second duration on his Chains, which is the ability that does CC the Demolyst. We're going to just show really quickly how you can tell. Some of them have bugged values in the Silmancrum, but this one actually is correct. So I'm going to throw my Chains at him, keep an eye on that duration. It lasts about 4.5 seconds. So now we're going to cast it again once he's free. Now it's 2.5 seconds-ish. And now it will be about 1 second on third cast. So see, every time we hit him with the CC ability, guys, he starts to resist it, and it becomes half the duration it initially was. So that's why Magus Lockdown is very important. This should have the full duration on him, and his Nullifying Bubble is not going to really help him there. So Magus Lockdown is very important, if not required, for longer runs of this. And yeah, I think Haro is pretty good here, but Haro gets nullified a lot, and Haro needs his abilities to stay alive in a lot of situations. So yeah, that's how you tell, guys. So basically, CC is not very useful against this thing. Well, actually, it is very useful, but it's not very effective. But you're going to need to utilize it if you want to kill the high-level ones, guys. Basically, the idea here is to just lock them in place, have all your teammates come over and kill it, and hope for the best. Hope things don't bug out, because like it says in this bottom line right here, Magus Lockdown sometimes decides not to work. I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes the enemies just completely resist it and run past it. I've experienced that as the host and as the client, so I don't believe it's just a host versus client kind of thing, okay? So let's just quickly go over some how to kill the high-level Demolyst stuff, because that's what I'm going to be telling you right here. So this is my step-by-step process of killing a level 200 plus Demolyst. And then number 1 is be in a squad with 4x shield disruption, so the aura mod that reduces enemy shields. And then two of your members should have the coaction drift mod equipped. That will make it so you have 100% shield removal on all the enemies in the mission, guys. That does apply to the Demolyst, so that will make it that you can do damage over time effects to them almost immediately. Okay, so that's going to be really helpful for having lots of varieties of different types of damage and all that kind of stuff. I have a hunch. I can't actually confirm this for a fact, but I do believe that the Demolyst does adapt to your types of damage in between rounds. I can't really confirm that for a fact because it's not the easiest thing to test. But it does feel like sometimes they're adapting to your damage. So maybe keep an eye out on that. Maybe have some varied builds in your squad. So maybe have like one guy with gas, one guy with viral, one guy with magnetic, one guy with corrosive, even though corrosive is bad there, just so you can have like it not resisting your damage. I can't confirm that, like I said, but it does seem like it does happen. And then step 2, use some of the most powerful weapons in the game with godly rivens. That does seem like a troll point, but you kind of actually have to do it for this, guys. Unfortunately, there is no, like, Magus Lockdown doesn't work, scaling damage does not work. Oberon's scaling damage does kind of work, but it's not very fast. So yeah, use basically your best stuff you possibly have, or use the Oma with a riven as well, which is probably the best weapon possible for this. And the step 3 is going to viral proc the enemy. So like I said, he's going to have 400,000 HP about an hour in. You're going to want to use a viral proc to make that 200,000 HP. Trust me, it makes it a lot easier. After you viral procced him, make sure you CC him with Magus Lockdown or an ability mentioned in this video. I'm going to recommend that everyone in the squad have a Magus Lockdown equipped. And then once you have CC'd him, call your squad over to your position to assist you because you're going to need it. When it has that much health, guys, even having a Mesa unloading on it for like a good 10 seconds straight is not going to kill it. So it's not a fun time. It's a really nasty time. And there's a couple things you can do to cheese it. Let's actually go over the thing with Loki I was talking about. So do I have a Loki loadout? I don't think I do right now. Okay, so you're going to go to Loki. And Loki is the one frame that could potentially make you go infinite on this if things are working out for you and your Loki knows what he's doing. Let's just say that. So I'm going to turn off invincibility just to show how dangerous this is. So the idea with Loki is that he actually can switch teleport the Demolyst. That's going to make it where you can actually endlessly fight the Demolyst. So what you're going to do is it's going to try charging the objective, and as Loki, you're going to be behind it. As soon as it gets to the end of the room, you're going to switch teleport it back to the front of the room, and it will never be able to get out of that room if you keep switch teleporting it correctly. That will give you infinite amount of time to fight the Demolyst because it will not be able to pass the room. But you do need to be careful because, like I said, there's going to be lots of level 200 enemies in there. They're going to be trying to nullify you. If you get nullified as Loki, you're probably dead. And, yeah, it's very dangerous. But if you could make it work, maybe you could actually get the highest time possible, guys. That's why I have Loki recommended as a frame, because you can switch teleport the Demolyst, and it does work in mission. I have tried it. It's there's a lot of things in the simulacrum that won't apply and be proper in the actual mission, so I made sure to test all these things in mission for you as well, guys. So this is the de facto list. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for you guys. Sorry that we don't have any actual gameplay. It's not very easy to test against level 200 Demolysts because it takes about over an hour, and it's a good play to get to that point in the first place. So yeah, good luck. I'm gonna say just have some fun. To go to the max waves, I'm gonna say the best load's gonna be like maybe 2 Mesas, a Loki, maybe an Octavia, and then everybody use the Oma. The 2 Mesas are basically just for killing the Demolyst, and then the Oma, everyone using the Oma is just so they can help with the DPS as well, because you're going to need it. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful to you guys. I'm going to hopefully have some more videos out on this in the future. It took a lot of time to test all this stuff, so I wanted to just get some preliminary testing out for you guys. So yeah, I'm going to say maybe Radiation is a good damage type here. Viral's also good. You're going to want to mix everything, though. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a nice one, guys. Peace.